Okay, got a 07 GasGas EC300 here. Checking the top and bottom end. It's wintertime here in Colorado, minus 34 this morning. Dude, finally got the garage warmed up to about 40 degrees. That's about workable weather. So trying to get some work done here. Top end came off pretty easy. And only concern is these head stays for the cylinder head, both broken. I have no idea how that happened. So I'll have to check the motor mounts, the rest of the motor mounts, and see if the motor's wiggling around or, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. Not just cracked, both of them broken off. So I thought my power valve rattle had come back. Maybe that was part of it. In any event, cylinder head actually looks pretty good. Tiny, tiny bit of carbon, just a tiny, tiny bit. I'm running Redline synthetic 2%, 50 to 1. Seems to be working good for me. When I took this piston out, it had a little bit of oil, actually a lot of oil, in this slot here and this little slot here, just pooled there. So I think it's oiling very well. Obviously, piston's getting some blow-by. Just going to change all this, piston rings, wrist pin bearing. This is the exhaust side here, so some carbon buildup on the top. I'm not unhappy with that. A little bit asymmetrical. In any event, got some blow-by here on the back side. Most of the blow-by's on the front end, which I guess may be expected. So, going to go with the Wassner kit, I think. In any event, the cylinder looks pretty good. Cross-hatching isn't as great as I'd like it to be, but there's no gouging, nothing major wearing, no discoloration in the cylinder. So I'm very pleased with the durability of this engine. I was concerned taking this engine apart because I'm the third owner. The guy I bought it from had this bike for, I guess, 3 years or so. Well decorated Pikes Peak racer. So he used to race motorcycles at Pikes Peak, and several trophies from it. Now he races cars. This was his woods bike, and so I don't think he was afraid of twisting the throttle. The cool part is he's also a mechanic and also has a couple mechanic shops over by Colorado Springs, so I think he took really good care of it. And so I was worried because it had been ridden hard by him, and I'm sure I put at least 75 hours, not 100 hours on it, and I haven't done a thing to the engine. I was worried about the bottom end. I knew I'd have to do the top end, but the bottom end is what I was really worried about, just because I knew it had been ridden hard, and I don't think it's been rebuilt. The crank has a little bit of side play in it. I don't know if you can see that. Just brace the camera here. Just a tiny, tiny bit of side play. I cannot get any vertical play out of it at all, no matter which way I turn it and where it is in the stroke. So, and the bearings actually look pretty good. I don't know if you can see the bearings there. I'll try to get close. There's no bluing, no purple color, nothing like they've been overheated. They look nice and shiny and silver. So I think they're getting lubricated well. And I was thinking I'd have to do the bottom end and split the cases, but I'm just going to do the top end and ride it. Cool. This is a testament to these GasGas bikes. I hear stories all the time about people riding these for 8, 10, 12 years and never touching the bottom end, and then they check it and it's still fine. And I don't know how that happens, but it's just super well engineered. The only other thing I want to check is to pull off the ignition cover and maybe the other side cover, the right side cover, and make sure there's no play in the crank bearings. And if there's no play there, then I'm going to be really happy. Won't have to mess with that this year. Cool. The only other things I'd like to do to it, definitely going to send the suspension off to Les Tenius Racing this winter and get him to work his magic on the Olins and the Marzokkis. Like to send the carburetor to RB Designs. Everybody seems to be really happy with the results, and see if I can get that done if the budget allows. Going to Moab this year, maybe in April-ish. My buddies are talking about riding 5 miles of hell. I'm not excited about that, but we do have Trials tire on the back, Shinko Trials 4x18, and I've ridden that. Actually, it came on the bike, and I've just ridden the tread off of it, and it's just been fantastic. So get maybe new one of those before I go. Definitely want a new front tire. It's still got good knobs on it, but just want some fresh rubber so it's not so it's very pliable and sticky for those rocks in Moab. I think that's all I'll really do to it. The only other concern I had was this impeller for the water pump. I think that's the plastic one people are talking about. That's kind of a weak link, so I'll probably change that for the aluminum one or whatever it is. So got there's a lot of parts that we can mix and match on the gassers. As if you're a gasser owner, you know that these Tusk foot pegs are Alpha 05 YZ250. Ordered them from Rocky Mountain ATV, and this left side was a direct bolt on. Didn't have any problems. It just bolted right on. Wide platform, really grippy little posts here all the way around, and I love the width. And I've had these on my 2005 Honda Sierra 450R for a couple years now, and my Alpine Stars that I've been riding on for 2, maybe 3 years now, it hasn't even begun to tear the soles up. So it grips really well, but it doesn't tear up your boots, and so I'm really happy with that. I was worried that it would tear the boots up. This right one took a little bit of modification because of the brake lever here has this bolt. This used to come out like this, and so it wouldn't fold up, wouldn't flex back without hitting that bolt right there. So I just ground some of this off with a grinder, and now it flexes back. Sweet, except it's missing its cotter pin there. Dude, what kind of mechanic am I? Alright, that's it. I'll probably make another video about reassembly and see how it goes. My one thing I don't want to forget is to lubricate the wrist pin bearing before I put it in. Can't forget. Okay, later.